Hello everybody, Mr. B here. So it's almost Christmas and I was looking through my books and I found one I think that some of you will like. Maybe I've even read it to some of you before. But I chose Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. Wow, that is a big tree. It looks too big for that room even. Let's find out what happens in this book. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. That must be where they got it from, at the top of this mountain. They're hauling it back to his house. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. Whoop. Let's find out. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree came by special delivery. Full and fresh and glistening green. The biggest tree he'd ever seen. Oh my, this is a big tree, he thought. Sitting, but he's got a pretty big house. So we'll see. He's going to take it in. He dashed downstairs to open the door. This was the moment he'd waited for. He looks excited. A magnificent tree, splendid, he cried. Please, sir, won't you carry it inside? Which he did. I think it might look best this year, right in the parlor corner over here. Come on, jump, jump. And that guy's helping him carry his tree in. Whoa! That's huge! Too big! But once the tree stood in its place, Mr. Willoughby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling and bent like a bow. Oh, good heavens, he gasped. Something must go. What part of the tree has to go? See what they do. What did they decide to do? Baxter the butler was called on in haste to chop off the top, though it seemed quite a waste. That's great, Mr. Willoughby cried with glee. Now we can start to trim the tree. When the trimming was well under way, the top was placed on a silver tray. Baxter said, I know who'd be delighted with this Christmas tree. So it was presented to Miss Adelaide, Mr. Willoughby's upstairs maid. Would you like this, madam? Oh, me? Thank you. I think she wanted that top to the tree that they cut off. They gave to the maid who works in the house. What? Looks too big for her, too. Won't this tree be a pretty sight when I have trimmed it later tonight? But the top, oh dear, I'm so afraid, will have to be cut, sighed Miss Adelaide. Snip! And so with scissors sharp and long, she snipped off the top while she hummed a song. While the top was set out the very next day in back of the house to be thrown away. So she cut off the top and she just threw it away. The top keeps getting passed to new people. Whoa, looks like this guy might want it. That little treetop caught the eye of Tim the gardener who was passing by. He certainly was not about to see that little tree thrown out. I wonder what he does. Looks like he took it for himself. He hurried home straight away to see what his wife, Mrs. Tim, would say. Fa la la! Surprise, surprise! His wife could not believe her eyes. Oh, you got that for me? You got the tree. But our house, she sighed, is so snug and small, I do not believe we need it all. Wonder what she's gonna do. She doesn't want the whole tree? And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut off the top and she threw it out. There it is, out the window. She cut the top off. That tree just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Oh, what's that? Looks like a bear. You found that tree? Barnaby Bear was padding on by. The tree almost hit him in the eye. Boop. Now, who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? Well, looks like he got it. I'll take it home. That's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I've a present for you. Isn't it a pretty tree? Yawned Barnaby quite drowsily. But Little Bear, standing off far, cried out, "That tree won't hold a star. It's too big again. This little tree is too big for the bears." Barnaby said, "Let's cut a hunk off the bottom here at the trunk." So he wants to cut off the bottom. Uh-oh. But Mama Bear shook her head and she sliced whooshing, off the treetop instead. What? "Woo, jolly by Willouby," Barnaby said with a kick. "Mama, that surely is just the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel and popcorn strings." I think they're going to decorate it. I already put a star on top. Here's that little piece she chopped off. It's so tiny now. They cut it so small, so tiny. What is she going to do with that? Walk up the stairs? Mama said, "Trim it just as you like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top, we don't need any more. I'll just put it upside out the door." She's going to put it outside. Looks like someone else found it. Who is that? The bears must live there, and I think they put it there, and then that fox found it? Let's read and find out. Later on that frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight. He spied the treetop, he rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuffed the tree in. Looks like he wants it. Woohoo! He scampered home and jumped the gate. Whew. This Christmas present could not wait. "It's even better than mincemeat pie," said Mrs. Fox with a happy sigh. Yeah. Then the foxes saw that their Christmas prize was just a wee bit oversized. That means it was too big for the foxes also. Their little fox den couldn't handle the size of even that tiny tree. But it's pretty big for them. There, my dears, don't you worry. I'll fix this top now in a hurry." Swing! What did she do? She cut it off. It's so small now. Ah! Looks like she threw it out the window. Benjamin Rabbit found it then, just outside the fox's den. It seems, he thought, most certainly that Santa left this tree for his family. "Look," he cried, "see the tree I found." With that, he called his family round. Whoa, he's got a big family. Then there was merrymaking, rollicking, frolicking, carrot shaking, celebration around the tree. All were happy as rabbits could be. Oh, they all brought their carrots, and whoop, there's that little tiny tree, which looks perfect size for a family of rabbits or bunny rabbits. Bunnies, let's turn the page. Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot and made a tree stand. That's a good idea. Now let's see how this will look in our little chimney nook. Well, there's that little chimney nook right up there above the fireplace. But right away the children cried, "Look! Uh-oh, it's leaning off to one side." It's too big for the rabbits. What do you think they're going to do? It's too big. What do you think they're going to do? Oh, yeah, you got it. "It's too tall, that's all," said Miss Rabbit. And as though it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw it away. Whoop. She gave it a chop and threw away the top. It's so tiny. Wonder what's going to happen to that little tiny top that the rabbits cut off. Cut it like a carrot. Who found it? Then Mistletoe Mouse just walked in and happened to see that tiny tip of a Christmas tree He pulled it away through the snow and the ice. Up some stairs, dunk, dunk, dunk. He fell down twice. Means he fell down 2 times. Ouch! At last, he reached his cozy mouse house. It's just the right size, said Mrs. Mouse. She looks happy. Then at the top, if you please, they put a star made out of cheese. It says Merry Christmas. And there's the mouse cheese star right there on their tiny Christmas tree, which came from Mr. Willouby. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willouby? And it looks like the mice who ended up getting the top to the tree, looks like they were living in Mr. Willoughby's house all along. It came back to his house. There's the original tree. You remember what it looked like in the beginning when they cut it down? And they took it. Remember, this was the tree in the beginning. Oh, they had to pull it in the house. It was so tall. Then they gave it to the maid. And then the maid cut it off. And then she gave it to the gardener guy, Tim, and her wife liked it, but she threw the top off the window. She cut it off. And then Barnaby Bear found it right there. He gave it to his family, but she sliced the top off. So much happened. This tree kept getting smaller. The fox got it. Then she cut it off. And then the bunnies got it. And what did they do? Chop that top off. And then the mouse got it, and it came back to Mr. Willoughby's place. What a story. That is the end of Mr. Willoughby's Christmas tree. I hope you all enjoyed that story. Bye. Have a good one.